Darkest Hours has a very wide assortment of entities. Practically all of them originate from a random piece of media. Some come from video games, some come from video game mods, or some of them take inspiration from pre-existing characters. In this video, I'm going to discuss some of my personal concepts for entities in this game. This video won't be a standalone thing, and I'll be creating a series of videos where I discuss entity concepts or item concepts for Darkest Hours. Now enough stalling, let's begin. My first entity concept is General Grievous. If you are somewhat familiar with Star Wars, you should know exactly how much of an absolute menace General Grievous is. This guy kills Jedi like it's no big deal, and can easily take on a bunch of them at once, all while not even being force sensitive. Anyways, Grievous could be a very threatening entity to deal with. He's a very aggressive fighter in lore, so I could imagine him being a chase entity with a very long attention span. I guess for his moveset we could borrow his abilities from Battlefront 2, as I believe they could also work in this setting. Thrust Surge makes Grievous lunge forward and stab his enemy, which he could use to pin down a lone survivor. Unrelenting Advance makes Grievous ignite all his lightsabers and spin them while moving forward, so he could use this move when some survivors are near him or when he's cornering a random survivor. Claw Rust makes Grievous start crawling rapidly and damage any enemies in his path, so he could use this whenever there's a bunch of survivors near him, allowing him to damage and ragdoll anyone he hits. I think Grievous would make for a great chase entity, being able to pick off survivors one by one, and having the ability to deal with multiple survivors at once if the time calls for it. My second entity concept is Bloxifant. If you were a fan of Flamingo during 2019, you know exactly who this guy is. If you don't know who he is, I'll give you a short backstory. Bloxifant was a bot maker who created bots that stalked various Roblox YouTubers. The bots were known for constantly following people while stating this. I'm not going to go into the full history of Bloxifant, since there's a bunch of videos that already do that. So instead, I'll just talk about how I think it could work in Darkest Hours. The Bloxifant bots would be a group stalker entity. However, unlike every other entity, they wouldn't actually do anything to hurt the survivor. They would only stalk and follow survivors. Instead of hurting the survivors themselves, they would bring other entities to their location. The Bloxifant bots would be able to get killed by survivors' weapons, and that would also serve as one way of getting rid of them. Outrunning them won't be an option, as they'll always be able to keep relative pace with you. I think having an entity that doesn't actually directly hurt the survivors themselves would be a nice change of pace. My third entity concept is the Nemesis. He's tall, he's brutish, he's fast, and he's got weapons. The Nemesis would bring fear to every survivor if he was added to the game. You got a dude who's 8 feet tall, carries around high-powered weaponry, and will stop at nothing to kill you. He'd definitely be a chase entity, since he spends the entirety of Resident Evil 3 chasing after Jill. His running speed would be faster than a regular survivor, and his punches would be strong enough to knock survivors back a few studs, or even ragdoll them. He would have a wide array of abilities that would make survivors fearful when dealing with them. For starters, he has his rocket launcher that he can use to snipe any survivors running away from him. If he can't hit any survivors with his rockets, he'll use his tentacles to grab them and bring them closer towards him. If there's a bunch of survivors near him, he can equip his flamethrower and use it as crowd control. Also as a bonus, every time he downs a survivor, he would do his cool roar. Overall, I think the Nemesis could serve as a very terrifying threat to survivors. He would be an absolute powerhouse and would not give survivors any time to breathe. I guess the only way to counter him is to keep on running and to not look behind you. My fourth and final entity concept is Black Noir. No, not that one. Yeah, that one. I feel like if someone had to choose a character from The Boys to be added into Darkest Hours, they would probably choose Homelander. I mean, this game already has a Homelander type character that's planned as an upcoming entity. However, I believe that Black Noir could also work as a threatening entity in this game. In the series, he's an actual force to be reckoned with. He could tank explosions, defeat other supes, and was a stealth master. Pretty much everyone feared this guy. Black Noir could work well in Darkest Hours as a stealth entity, only targeting survivors who are alone. Like imagine running away from Colossus and thinking you're safe, only for Black Noir to pop out of nowhere and kick your ass. I think the only way you'd be able to counter him is by sticking around with a large group of people, as he usually likes to be quiet and stealthy, instead of having all the attention on him. For his abilities, I can see him having daggers that he throws at survivors running away from him. He could also have smoke grenades that he throws at survivors to disorient them, attacking them while they're in the smoke. In the series, we also see that Noir is very resistant to pain, brushing off attacks like it's nothing. So I think it would make sense to have his stun times be shorter compared to other entities. Black Noir will legitimately serve as a scary threat in this game, making players wary about how far they want to stray away from other survivors. Oh yeah, and also to avoid copyright, let's call him Shadow Noir instead. So these are some of my ideas for entity concept in Darkest Hours. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I had a fun time creating ideas on how these characters could work in Darkest Hours, and as I said earlier, I'm planning to make a series where I go over concepts for entities or items that could work in this game. I definitely have a lot more ideas in mind that I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.